Yo, salut à tous. Bon, on se retrouve sur un petit jeu qui s'appelle Starship. Il est en démo, donc on va se tester ça. C'est un petit jeu, je pense, un peu à la... Hop là.
Welcome to the Magellan class scanning and navigation training module. My name is
Ok.
Ava. I'm the UN Space Fleet's AI voice assistant. In this module, we will review the correct procedure for identifying targets of interest, and then navigating the ship to the desired location.
D'accord.
To begin, proceed to the ship's bridge. I have placed some waypoints on your HUD to help you find your way.
Ce que je voulais dire, c'est que c'est un petit jeu, je pense, à la Star Trek. Donc on va se tester tout ça.
Welcome to the bridge. This is the ship's nerve center, where you have command and
Ok.
control over any ship system. Right now we're interested in the sensors. This station is responsible for scanning space around the ship and highlighting any targets of interest for the command staff. Before we perform any scans, however, let's take a look at the different sensor modes available to us. The Galactic Position mode makes use of the standard UN Galactic Positioning System and simply shows us our location relative to the Milky Way galaxy. The Stellar Region mode employs the long-range sensors to
Ok, j'avais
detect
pas vu
information
ça.
about star systems within a 50 light-year radius of the ship.
Ok.
The Star System mode uses the short-range sensors to provide a more detailed overview of the star system we are currently in, with a maximum range of about 1 light-year. Go ahead and press that button now.
Quel
The range
bouton?
controls allow you to fine-tune the display range of the sensors, which makes it easier to focus on particular objects of interest, or to gain a high-level overview of the current star system. The central panel lists all of the valid objects in range, which you can click on to select as a target. Go ahead and click a few different targets now.
Faut que je
You'll
fasse
notice that the
différentes
target
targets. Voilà.
information panel displays more detailed information about your selected target. Once you are happy with your selection, press the Send to Helm button to make the target coordinates available to the Helm console for navigation. Now head over to the Helm console and take a seat. From here, we will navigate the ship to your
Comment je
chosen
sors de là?
target.
Doit être F? Ouais.
Let's begin by taking a quick look at the various screens available to the helm.
Sensor.
The left-hand
Ok.
display is dedicated to navigation and shows both the ship's current galactic position along with its target destination coordinates. The central display deals with the flight controls themselves, including the FTL system, sublight engines, and reaction control thrusters. The right-hand screen features the autopilot controls, toggles for the 3D target
Ok.
indicators, and the ship's navigation lights. Okay, let's retrieve the target information from the sensors by pressing the Use Sensor Target button on the navigation panel. Your target coordinates should now be displayed in
Target
this box,
sensor.
which represents your current nav target. The galactic coordinates represent the target's position
Alors
in
ça
the
doit être un jeu
galaxy
qui joue à
to
la,
the
en
nearest
multi.
whole light
Oh,
year.
j'avais pas vu ça.
The coordinates are relative to the center of our galaxy, the supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A star.
Sagittarius.
The local
Ok.
coordinates represent the target's position within a star system. The coordinates are relative to the system's center of gravity, which is usually a star, or the barycenter in multi-star systems. While it is possible to fly the ship manually to any location in the galaxy,
C'est là.
let's engage the autopilot for now, so that the
Engage.
ship will now automatically turn to face the current nav target, but you will need to manually engage the FTL system in order for us to get underway.
Ok.
You can now engage the FTL system when you are ready.
Engage
While the
FTL.
autopilot is engaged, I will manage the ship's speed and final approach to the target coordinates, so just sit back and enjoy the ride. The FTL system works by compressing space ahead of the ship and then expanding it behind, creating a bubble of warped space with the ship at its center. The
Waiting at
compressed
target
space
coordinate.
amplifies
Ok.
the ship's current velocity by a factor of the FTL field strength, so the ship's sublight engines are still used to provide the required thrust. The maximum speed of the ship is therefore a combination of the FTL field strength and the thrust output of
Hop
the
là.
sublight engines.
On est arrivé.
For
C'est
the
bien
Magellan
ça.
class, this is approximately 300 light-years per hour. Okay,
Oula.
it looks like we have arrived at the target coordinates. Now that we've seen what the ship can do over a relatively short distance, let's pick a target that's much further away. Head on over to the sensors console again and take a seat.
Ah, faut que je descende, faut que j'aille dans celle-là.
This time we're going to use the long-range sensors. Go ahead and press the stellar region button.
C'est la
As before,
région.
you can use the display range buttons to increase or reduce the number of displayed objects, depending on your needs. If you click between a few of the objects in range, you'll notice that none of them have any detailed
Alpha
information yet.
Centaur,
This is
Wolf.
because a sensor scan is required. Let's take a closer look at our nearest neighbour. Click on Alpha Centauri and then click the Scan Target button.
Attendez.
You'll notice that the
Okay.
Target Information panel now gives us a high-level overview of the targeted system, including important data points
Exist between
such as the
star.
extent of the habitable zone. This information can be used to determine if a star system is worth closer inspection. For example, if a planet exists in the habitable zone, you'll need to use the short-range sensors from within the system itself to determine
Il y a
if
un
that
truc
planet
là-bas.
can truly support life.
Ah non, ça c'est la planète.
Select one of the
Ok.
planets in the system that you'd like to take a closer look at, and then press center helm as we did before. Now return to the helm console and take a seat once again. Press the Use Sensor Target button again on the navigation panel. Now engage the autopilot again to
Engage.
engage the FTL system so we can... Our
FTL.
previous journey was merely interplanetary, but we're now leaving the Sol system behind and entering interstellar space. The Milky Way galaxy is a vast and mysterious place, where even light takes over 4 years to reach our nearest stellar neighbour. Thanks to recent breakthroughs in FTL technology, however, we can now make that same journey in around 1 minute. Even so, at our maximum speed of 300 light-years per hour, it will still take over 2 full weeks to fly from one side of the galaxy to the other. That's a distance in excess of 100,000 light-years. Our galaxy
mais là on
contains
bouge pas
hundreds
là.
of billions of star systems that are waiting to be explored, in addition to countless other stellar phenomena that we don't even have names for yet. This ship and her crew are tasked with exploring distant new worlds, seeking out new life in all of its diversity, and making peaceful first contact with any intelligent species that are encountered along the way. The galaxy can also be a dangerous and unforgiving place, so as we tread cautiously into the unknown, we should remain mindful of any potential dangers lurking in the dark. We're not far from our destination now, so sit back and enjoy the view while I handle the final approach.
Super. Mais là ça bouge pas là. On est d'accord.
Okay, here we are. You are now looking at an entirely new world, bathed in the light of another star. At this distance, our home is now just another point of light in the darkness of space.
C'est quoi ça? 9
Does life
target
exist
sensor.
here? What new things can we discover on this world? These are the questions that this ship was designed to answer. This concludes the scanning and navigation training module. You are free to continue exploring if you wish, but please be aware that your progress will not be saved. Thank you, and goodbye.
Ok, donc il m'a dit au revoir, hein, c'est ça? On va visiter un peu le vaisseau quand même. C'est sympathique. On va passer à l'autre mission. Ah, c'est un ascenseur. Ok. Hop là. Pourquoi c'était déconnecté ça? Ah, là il y a un petit problème technique là. Je crois qu'il y a un petit souci. Là on peut pas y aller. Ouais, tout n'est pas encore fait hein. Comme vous pouvez le voir, c'est un jeu qui est en alpha. Donc c'est normal qu'il manque encore pas mal de petites choses. Ah oui, là on peut pas y aller. Cabine, cabine. Cabine. Là on n'est pas passé. Tiens, on va l'activer ça aussi. Ça aussi. Mais tous ceux du bas ils sont désactivés. Comment ça se fait? C'est quoi? Ah, ça c'est le vaisseau. Donc tout ça c'est le crew habitation. Et il y en a plein. Action, contrôle, medical facility, parc, hydroponique. Donc nous on est là. Donc normalement... Où est-ce qu'on est là? Donc si je prends ça, je vais au bout. Attendez. Donc là, normalement, ça devrait être le médical. Non. Gros cabine encore. Là, ça sera le médical. Ok. Bon. Custom ship. Oh. Ah, on n'est pas dans... Ah, late. Oui, bon. On peut faire son propre vaisseau. Ça, c'est sympa. Ah, donc là-bas, c'était l'hydroponique? Attendez, ça veut dire que par là, il y a l'hydroponique, normalement. Mais non, ça reste les cabines. Ok. Tactique, steward, civil. Paul, ambassadeur. Rank, ambassadeur. Ah. C'est quoi? Ah, c'est la couleur. Ok. Hop là. Bon, tout ça, c'est du classique. Hein. Oh, ouais, vas-y, on va se mettre comme ça. Ah. Et je crois que ça a planté, chef. Bon. Je relance le jeu et on se reprend. De toute façon, c'est des alpha, c'est un jeu en alpha, donc c'est normal qu'il y ait des plantages. Hein. Voilà, on se retrouve dans notre vaisseau. On a une nouvelle mission à faire que j'ai choisie. Welcome to my 1. Ok.
In this module, we will review the correct procedure for starting up the ship's fusion reactor and then supplying power to the vessel.
D'accord.
The ship is currently in a cold and dark state, so for your safety, I have taken the liberty of turning on your torch for you.
Oh, c'est beau ça.
To begin, follow the waypoints on your HUD to the lower floor of the reactor.
C'est par là-bas qu'il faut que j'aille. Waypoint. Non. Ah, ça peut être dedans.
As you can see, the reactor is offline, and none of the ship's systems
Ah, c'est ça le réacteur.
Our first task is to provide power to the engineering decks, so let's make our way to the start capacitor's room. Follow the waypoints on your HUD to the startup distributor.
C'est où? C'est par là. C'est là.
As its name suggests, the startup distributor routes energy from the start capacitors to the engineering decks, and also provides the reactor with the power it needs to create the initial fusion reaction. You'll notice the device is already powered, because the start capacitors are fully charged. Let's go ahead and get some lights on by connecting all of the breakers. Start with the G-deck breakers, as indicated.
Hop là. Hop là. Hop là. Hop
And
là.
now the F-deck breakers.
On a la lumière. Mais y a rien. Connect, connect, connect,
And
connect.
finally, the reactor supply itself.
Ah.
Excellent. Now we can see what we're doing. You can go ahead and turn off your torch by pressing T. The reactor controls should now be online, so let's walk back to the reactor room and take a look.
On retourne au réacteur.
This console displays the reactor's vital information and provides you with full control over the reactor and its subsystems. On the left-hand side, we have the coolant section, which shows the liquid helium coolant flow.
En tout cas,
And the condition of the
celui-là,
magnetic field
si
coils.
il sort
On the right-hand
et
side, we
qu'il
have
y
the
a
electrical section, which shows the reactor's main electrical bus, along with its input and output feeds. In the center, we have the reactor's main display.
et que bon, il y
where
a
we can
quelques
control the
modifs, hein, parce
fusion
qu'il y a encore
reaction
plein de choses
itself.
qui sont pas faites, mais ils gardent plus
As
ou
you can see
moins
from all of these
le
alarms,
même
it would be
style de
impossible
jeu.
to initiate a
Ça
stable
pourrait être très
fusion
intéressant
reaction
pour
under the
les
current conditions. So let's fix that. The first thing we need to do is supply power to the
multi-crews,
reactor's internal bus.
enfin pour les équipes
So go ahead and
multi-crews qui
switch
aiment
the
bien se
reactor to
balader
startup
dans
mode
l'espace.
by pressing the indicated
Parce que
button.
d'après ce que j'ai compris, enfin du moins d'après ce qu'il nous dit, ça sera énormément
Great. Now that the reactor has
d'exploration.
power, we can activate the vacuum pump to start purging the confinement chamber.
Donc après, je pense qu'il y aura des petits fights,
chamber
mais ce
pressure
sera
should
vraiment
now be
plus de
dropping.
l'exploration.
To sustain a fusion reaction, we need an internal pressure of less than 10
Internal
nanopascals.
pressure, ok, c'est en train
While we wait for the
d'augmenter. Ah,
confinement
ça
chamber to
descend.
reach its target pressure, let's take care of the reactor's fuel and coolant supplies. Exit the reactor room via the door behind you, and follow the waypoints on your HUD to the cryogenic storage room.
C'est quoi qu'il faut que je fasse là? Ah! Faut que j'aille dans les cryogénicro. C'est
These
où?
storage tanks hold all of the
C'est où que je
cryogenic
dois aller?
fluids that are used to both fuel and cool the reactor. All 4 tanks are currently empty, so our first task is to begin the filling process.
Ah, n'importe quel truc, c'est bon.
Let's start with the helium coolant. Head behind the storage tanks to access the helium cryo cooler.
Into... Ah! C'est pas du tout là que je dois aller. C'est là-bas.
The cryo coolers use a process called magnetic refrigeration to convert gas into a cryogenic
Mince,
fluid
j'ai peut-être fait n'importe
before
quoi de l'autre
pumping it
côté.
into the connected storage tank. Start up the helium cryo cooler now by using the indicated control on its user interface. Excellent.
Fun.
Now if you turn around, you'll find the helium refill valve located on the back wall. These valves control the flow of gases harvested by the ship's gas collection hardware, which is located on the underside of the forward hull. Go ahead and open the helium supply valve now to begin supplying the cryo cooler with helium gas.
Et c'était ça que je devais faire. Non, je crois pas. Après, c'est peut-être parce que j'ai fermé... Non, c'est open. Maintenant, elles sont open. Ah. Open, open. Open, open. Open, open. Open. Alors, j'ai peut-être dû louper un truc là.
if you turn around again and inspect the display screen connected to the helium
En
tank,
fait, c'était juste ça
you
que
should
je
be
devais
able to
faire.
confirm that
Ok.
the tank is now filling with fluid. We now need to perform the same sequence of events for the other 3 tanks. Head over to the helium-3 cryocooler next. Helium-3 is the first of 2 fuels used in the fusion reaction. As before, power up the device using its user interface.
Ah. Faut que je fasse quoi? Sur quelle interface? Mais j'ai déjà fait.
And now open the helium-3
Ah oui, mais
refill
parce que
valve
lui
behind you
considère que je l'ai
to
pas fait.
start filling its
Ok.
associated tank. Next, we need to start filling the 2 deuterium
Ok.
tanks. So
Ouais,
let's
pour
head
lui,
over
en
to the
fait,
other
vu
side
que
of the
je
room.
l'ai pas fait pendant le truc, c'est aux arômes, c'est là-bas.
Deuterium, also known as heavy hydrogen, is the second of the 2 fusion fuels. We store double the amount of deuterium compared to helium-3, because deuterium also fuels the reactor's neutral beam injectors. As before, turn on the first and now the first deuterium refill valve behind you.
Ok.
Next, turn on the second deuterium cryocooler. And now the second deuterium refill. Okay, perfect. All 4 storage tanks should now be filling with cryogenic fluids. For our next task, we now need to engage the cryopumps in order to start supplying the reactor with everything it needs.
Ok, mais faut que j'aille
Make
où?
your way around to the other side of the tanks and locate the
L'autre côté.
deuterium tank outflow valve.
Mais
Open the
voilà.
deuterium outflow valve to begin.
Hop
Next,
là.
power on the pump itself using the button indicated on its user in.
On.
Excellent. That's half of the fuel mix taken care of. Now head over to the helium-3 tank outflow valve so we can complete the fuel supply.
Ah, faut que j'aille de l'autre côté maintenant.
As before, begin by opening the helium-3 and now
Hop
engage the
là.
helium.
Hop
Perfect.
là.
All we have to do now is take care of the coolant flow. Head over to the helium. Now open the helium outflow valve.
Hein? Ah.
And finally, there we go. The reactor is
Je
now being
suppose qu'il faut
supplied
que je
with all
fasse
the
la même
fuel
chose
and
ici,
coolant
non?
it needs. Follow the waypoints back to the reactor room,
Ah
where we
non.
have just a few more valves to.
Faut qu'on retourne au réacteur. Ouais, tout ce qu'il faut faire pour démarrer un moteur, c'est hallucinant. Ah non, c'est là-bas. Non, c'est pas là. C'est là. Ah.
To complete the coolant loop, open the helium inflow valve to start.
Open.
Now make your way around to the opposite side of the reactor to complete the fuel supply process. First, open the deuterium inflow valve.
Et celui-là.
And now open the helium-3 inflow valve.
Celui-là.
Okay, great. Let's head over to the reactor controls and take a look at the coolant display.
Je
As
revienne
you can
là.
see, we now have coolant flowing into the reactor. This has begun the process of cooling down the magnetic field coils, which must reach temperatures below 20 Kelvin in order to become superconductive. Once the coils have reached their target temperature, you will be able to engage the magnetic field.
Ok. Donc c'est quoi qu'il faut que je fasse? J'ai pas tout capté. Sur quel bouton faut que j'appuie? C'est one switch. Non, non. Donc ça va là. Vacuum. Ah, il n'y a pas la suite de la quête? Oh, j'ai encore dû louper un truc, moi. Je vous le dis. Their target temperature. Oui, mais comment je fais ça, moi? Les températures. Si je coupe tout, normalement, ça devrait pas choper. Switch. Ah, moi je suis comme ça, j'appuie sur tous les boutons. Hein. On voit après ce qui se passe. Si ça fait boum, ça fait boum. Wait for the field coin and reach. Isolate. Non. Ça marche pas. Vous n'allez pas descendre la température. Supply. Non plus. Startup. Le vacuum. Bah j'ai dû louper un truc dans l'instruction. Tout ça c'est open. Tout ça c'est open. Non, on va s'arrêter là pour l'instant. Je vais essayer de revoir ce que j'ai loupé et on se reprend pour le prochain épisode. Donc bah je vous dis salut à tous et puis au prochain épisode.